So let me show you from the beginning how simple this can be once you have a great quality DAW. So we go in this, I'm going to say new chapter, and I have some templates set up here. And each of these has some different things based on what I'm doing. If I'm doing a podcast like this, then I'm going to pull up one template. If I'm working an audiobook, I'm going to pull up a different template. This one's cleverly called Don's Audiobook. See how the depth that I have there. It's scary. And then everything else is pre-set up for me. So I would name it what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to choose OK. Well, it comes up, it's all set up for me. And what people don't realize is, just like I have a dishwasher that could go ahead and wash all the dishes by just throwing in a little piece of soap, whatever they call that there, packet, behind the scenes, there are a set of tools that are pre-set up so that you know what I'm going to do when I, quote, master my audio? I'm going to export it. And all these tools that are sitting here that are pre-done are going to master that audio. In the case, if I pull up an audiobook, I'm going to hit ACX specs because it's been tuned for me. And I do this for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. And now when they come in, all they have to do is go in and they record. And when they're ready, when they're done, they export. And all their tools are applied and they get all that time back. They're not worried about trying to hit ACX specs and what are my peaks and what's my total RMS. They do check it, but they already have the tools to hit it and make everything work without them having to micromanage it. Just like I throw that little packet in the dishwasher and I don't know, it has rinse stuff in it, it has wash stuff in it. Do I know how that works? I have no clue. And you don't need to know this either. It just does the right things. And that's one of the things that will return time to you when you're using a tool like this.
Yeah, and this is something that people who only use, say, Audacity or Twisted Wave or other free DAWs, they don't realize this. Those DAWs don't have template capabilities. You can't set up templates with those. And so this is the equivalent of going from a kitchen where all of your silverware and all your dishes and plates and things are just stacked on the counter at random versus actually creating a system where you can put them where you want. And now the whole thing is organized and feels nice and you don't have to think about it. And that might not seem like a big deal for one project or for 10 projects or for 20. But over time, this adds up so much.
It actually becomes crazy over time. It's cumulative. So Donnie can sit and he's got a game this afternoon and he needs to crank out 3 or 4 voiceovers because he has a template set up for that. He grabs his voiceover template, he records, he exports, he's hitting the specs he wants for voiceover clients. When he was doing audiobooks, he had a template for audiobooks and he would open that up and he would do an audiobook and he hits those specs without having to think about it. And then as you grow, there's a bunch of complexity that's behind the scenes, but that's something that you don't need to see at first. It's brain dead simple at first. And then if you need, I have another project here. Let me go over to this other project. So this one, it looks like it's a simple project. Now I've been doing this stuff for 10 years. So sometimes I want more complexity. I don't want it, but I need it because I did something and I want to do some revisions. Well, let's say I need to cut something out of this. Here's how hard it is. I highlight what I want to cut out. I might be more precise than that if I'm doing it for real. And I drag it down. And now what just happened? It took that little segment, put it down there, and now it closed up that little gap and I could go ahead and listen. Do I like it? Do I not like it? And if I want to put it back, I undo it. But that's how easy it can be. I was able to color code things because that allowed me to come back later and say, well, why are these red things here? Those were revisions I needed to make and I didn't have time to do it. So what did I do? I right-clicked on it. I was able to set the color to something that made sense to me for coming back later. So behind the scenes, there are 100 little productivity enhancements that are available that won't be obvious at first, but that's okay. You don't even need to know about these. I just can't tell you how many things in life I don't know a bunch of details about. And when you start off, you can start off very simple, but the advanced tools give you options, and you can do what Donnie does. Donnie walks in, he's got a game this afternoon that he has to drive to, and he just goes ahead and gets his template, gets the right one, records, exports, he's hit the specs he needs, and he's gone. And all this adds up as you continue to do this.
Yeah, and you talk about this concept all the time of residual time. You know, when we talk about money or investing, we talk about residual returns, right? Where you make a small initial investment or maybe a large one, whatever it is, but your goal is to over time have that money compound. by a certain percentage every year. And over a long period of time, that money grows exponentially if we do it well and things work out, right? So a small amount of money can become a very large amount of money over time through this power of compounding interest. Similarly, this concept of compounding residual time, well, if you save just a little bit of time on every project and you extrapolate that out over a day, over a week, over a month, over a year, think about how much time you now get back to market your business, to do other things you need to do to grow your business, to spend time with your family, with your friends, to do things other than the grunt work of editing and mastering and extra steps that you actually don't necessarily need to be doing if you have the kind of tools that are set up well to save you time on every single project that you do from now on.